Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Alex from Studiobricks.
Thanks for coming.
Nice to meet you.
Today I got a special delivery coming from Spain.
Okay, can you show me the place?
Yeah.
It's pretty big, so first I got to show Alex where we're going to put it.
That's Sky.
Okay.
I cleared a space outside my office that's just big enough for this incredible studio that can be built in about an hour from what are essentially really fancy high-tech Legos. The whole thing gets delivered on a pallet and can fit inside a van. It's 3:08 right now. I wonder how long this will take. Step one, Alex and Jordy gotta carry all this stuff in.
I do feel bad that I'm not helping.
As you can see, the booth is made up of these modular bricks that are gonna get assembled in a particular order. Just the way it's all packed up in the truck is pretty clever.
Is that the roof?
Yes.
I think these guys are gonna have a crazy time putting all this together.
It looks like it should be really hard, right? But wait till you see how they do this. Just a few more pieces and we could start building.
Okay. So this is the floor, and these are like feet.
You see, the floor is raised up off the ground by a few centimeters, and that space is crucial for sound isolation. Now, if you're going to get one of these, you really have to measure things carefully. Now the fun part of putting the bricks together.
All of these pieces. How does someone who doesn't know how to do this know what to do? Oh, A is the bottom level.
Yes. Yeah. The first level is A. A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5.
Okay. And next level is B.
And next level is B.
C and D.
But the corners.
As you can see, the corner is here, but in the B floor, the corner is here.
Very hot today.
I know, sorry.
Yeah.
It's good weather. It's
It's like a Spain, Mediterranean.
That's right, we have nice weather in this.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York.
From New York. Ah. I was in New York the last year, in Brooklyn, to build a big cabin.
I'd rather go to Nice.
Of course, if you don't have experts like Alex and Jordy to build your booth, these come with detailed instructions as well as video tutorials for exactly how to do it. Right now, just to make sure the booth will fit beneath the sloped ceiling, they're taking some extra measurements. And apparently we're all good. Notice the space they're leaving between the booth and the wall. This is once again to optimize the sound isolation. Now adding the bricks for level B. Isolating the sound waves is all about creating various layers of different sound absorbing materials. Now we're adding multiple layers to the floor. And now it's time to construct level C.
This is our CrossFit.
There wasn't enough space to fit this corner piece in because of the low ceiling, but Alex has a workaround. Now it's time for the door, which, besides being really sophisticated, is also very heavy. But there's a problem.
Is it gonna open? It's okay?
I don't know.
While the booth itself fits into the space I chose, I didn't measure for the opening of the door. Time to find out if we have to do this all over again.
It's okay.
It opens, but not quite enough. Not to worry though, we just had to shift the booth over about 10 centimeters to solve the problem.
We win 10 centimeters.
Yeah, and that's okay. Now it opens.
Now please click the like button if you appreciate a good montage, and make sure you're subscribed.
The day is approaching to give it your best. You've got to reach your prime. That's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us the passage of time. We're gonna need a montage. A sports training montage. Show that things happening at once. Remind everyone of what's going on. And with every shot, show a little improvement to show it all would take too long. That's called a montage. Simple little montage. Always laid out in a montage.
It's amazing how this whole thing gets built with no tools, no screws, no adhesives. It's genius. That's the roof. It just slides on top and clicks into place. When you close the handle of this acoustic door, it seals everything up real tight. There's a pass-through for the wiring, which is also sound isolated. This is the included ventilation kit, which is remarkably quiet and effective. I got the voiceover edition of the OnePlus booth, which comes with a bunch of extras like this fold-down table, this adjustable arm which can hold a monitor or a music stand. These lights fit right into the walls of the booth, and you can put them anywhere you want. These reflectors slot in the same way and allow you to customize the sound of your booth. This bass trap is also part of the voiceover edition package. You can further customize the sound of your booth with these diffusers. And the final touch is this vented ceiling, which just slips right on top. Here's my wife, who's obviously thinking, what on earth have you done now? And there it is, just over an hour later, the Studiobricks OnePlus Vocal Edition booth. So this booth got delivered and installed a couple months ago. Since then, I've spent many hours in here practicing and recording. I wanted to really try it out properly so that I could answer any questions you might have in case you were looking to get one of these for yourself. I didn't participate in the building of this thing, but as you saw, it's pretty straightforward. And I think anyone who can play the saxophone can manage setting this up with the help of a friend or two. So the biggest question, of course, is how well does it work? How much does it reduce the volume of playing the saxophone? So let's run a couple of tests. I set up a microphone about 1 meter outside the door, and I'm going to record with the door wide open and then with the door shut. On the Studiobricks website, it says the booth should reduce the sound by about 45 decibels on average. I'm going to use this iPhone app to give us some sort of an idea of how accurate this is. Here, this is the difference of me. Oh, I know what I can do. Let's do this. It is very important to be clear that the booth is not soundproof. That would require much thicker walls and it would just make the whole thing impractical. While I haven't been outside of the booth with someone else playing saxophone in here, I can tell you that I've practiced in here for hours while my daughter is asleep just down the hall with her bedroom door open and she's never heard a thing. I would say that in any normal apartment or house, having one of these booths would completely solve the problem of annoying your neighbors. It is very unlikely that anyone would hear you playing in this booth outside the walls of your home. Playing at my maximum volume in here, I estimate that the sound just outside the booth in the same room would be about the volume you'd watch TV at. So if the booth is in a closed room, you should be pretty much good to go anytime, day or night. And that is a freedom that many horn players just don't have. Okay, now for another experiment to try to simulate what it would be like in an apartment or an apartment building or a house. I put the recorder with the same settings right pointing towards the wall in the other room, right over here. And I'm going to play, and this would kind of be what someone in the next room would hear if the door was closed and you were playing in your booth. Next big question, is it worth it? When you consider the fact that this booth costs about the same as a typical professional level tenor saxophone, it's an investment that would make a lot of sense for a lot of people. I would say more sense than buying that backup horn or some vintage collector saxophone you've got your eye on. These do come in a bunch of different configurations, so the actual price does vary quite a bit. You'd have to get in touch with Studiobricks to get a quote for your needs. Next big question, what's it like to practice in here and spend lots of time in this small booth? I'll be honest, I originally wanted a larger size booth than this one, but it just wouldn't fit in the space. So we had to go with the 1+ size. And now that I've got it and I've spent lots of time in here, I can say I don't really need the bigger size. This is plenty big enough. Let me give you a better perspective. Okay, this is zoomed all the way out to the wide angle lens, okay? But this is like my range of motion. I can't extend my arms completely, but almost my full arm span from the long side. This is what it looks like with both my arms on either side. I could put my arms all the way up while I'm seated. And of course I could stand in here and I have a fair amount of head space. There's lots of working space. Like right now I'd have to move my chair up quite a bit to be at the desk, and I still can move up further. And I've got a baritone saxophone at my feet. I've never actually felt uncomfortable or claustrophobic or that I didn't have enough space in here. It's actually quite cozy and kind of comforting to be in this booth practicing for a long time. To get the most out of practicing, we want to be in a really focused mental state. And one of the nice things about this booth is that it also blocks the noise from the outside, which helps us get into that space. I also really like how the saxophone sounds in this booth. I get a really direct and accurate impression of every detail, which makes it ideal for trying out saxophones and mouthpieces. With a laptop and a microphone, you've got like a complete recording studio that gives you a very neutral sound. I know these booths are widely used by voiceover actors for TV and movies and podcasts and the radio. It's got a great sound for vocals too. So right now it's early June and it's outside, it's 24 degrees Celsius. So it's a pretty warm day. I'm in this booth. I've been in here for a while recording this, door closed, ventilation system on, and it's a comfortable temperature. There's no air conditioning on in the house. And I would be comfortable practicing in here in the middle of the day. I know they do offer an air conditioning system that you could add to this, but if the room your booth is in is air conditioned or not too hot, you're going to be fine. If I had had this booth 20 years ago, I think it probably would have changed my life because I would have been able to get so much more work done just having this isolated space. Unlike the basement studio I built for myself in my former apartment building that I had to leave behind, This booth can come with you when you move, or you could just sell it locally if you no longer need it. It's important to point out that the founder of Studiobricks is actually a saxophone player.
Hi Jay, how are you? This is Guillermo from Studiobricks, and I hope you have a great time in the future playing in your booth and enjoying maximum.
He reached out to me. I had never even known about this product before, and I need to let you know that they did offer me this booth at a discount in exchange for making this video. I told them that I wanted to make sure BetterSax subscribers would get some sort of a bonus if they ended up purchasing one of these after watching the video. So they agreed to throw in an additional 2 of these flat panels, which do make a great difference in bouncing that sound back at you for anybody who mentions BetterSax when they place an order. I put a link in the description for you to use if you want to configure a booth for yourself. Make sure you tell them you watched the BetterSax video, and they'll throw in a couple of these extra panels as a bonus. Now, if you don't have the budget or the space for one of these booths, there are still several ways you can practice without bothering the neighbors or other people in your household. Watch this video next where I show you 8 different options.